All right, get ready for this deep dive.
Ooh, deep dive. I like that.
We're diving deep into Rich Dad, Poor Dad
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
by Robert Kiyosaki.
Classic.
This book, I mean, it's legendary
Yeah, it's fake.
for kind of turning traditional money advice
On its head.
on its head.
Yeah.
So we're going to unpack Kiyosaki's perspective on, assets and liabilities.
Okay.
And why maybe like your mindset about money
Uh-huh.
might be the biggest thing holding you back
Yeah, mindset is huge.
from building wealth.
It is.
So let's just jump right in
Okay.
to one of Kiyosaki's most famous ideas.
Right.
It's the difference
Okay.
between how
Uh-huh.
the rich and the middle class see assets.
Right.
He says, and I'm quoting here,
Okay.
the rich buy assets. The poor only have expenses. The middle class buys liabilities they think are assets.
I mean, come on. That's pretty strong, right?
It's a strong statement.
He doesn't hold back.
No, he does not mince words.
No.
And it gets to the heart of his philosophy.
It does.
So you probably already know what an asset is.
Right.
But Kiyosaki wants you to go beyond that textbook definition
Okay. Yeah.
and ask yourself, is this thing truly paying me, or am I stuck paying for it?
That's the question.
So it's not just about owning things.
Uh,
It's about owning things that put money in your pocket.
yeah, that's the key difference.
And the classic example Kiyosaki uses is a house.
Oh, yeah. The house,
Claro,
everyone
claro,
thinks it's their biggest asset.
That their house is their biggest asset.
Yay.
But he argues that for many in the middle class,
Yeah.
it's actually...
The biggest liability.
Wait, hold on.
Okay, I know.
How can a house, something you own, be a liability?
Mm,
Isn't that
kind of a contradiction.
like a contradiction?
Think of it this way.
Okay.
Does your house generate income
Okay.
for you?
Mhm.
Or does it drain your bank account every month?
Well-
With,
With all the things.
mortgage payments, the property taxes, insurance, and then the repairs. All those repairs.
It never ends.
Never ends.
That's true.
Yeah.
Ouch.
It hurts.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
It's not about
Yeah.
whether you technically own it.
Right.
It's about the cash flow.
It's the cash.
Where's the money going?
Exactly.
In or out?
Exactly.
So Kiyosaki argues that
Yeah.
the rich
Why?
focus on acquiring assets
Yeah.
that generate passive income.
Passive income, right?
So things like rental property,
Rental properties. Yep.
businesses,
Uh-huh.
stocks that pay dividends.
Oh, yeah. The
Those assets put money in their pockets.
while they sleep.
Yeah.
That's the dream.
And that brings us to,
Okay.
those financial statement diagrams he uses in the
Yeah.
book.
Yes.
They really
Powerful visuals.
highlight the contrast
Yeah.
between how
Mhm.
the rich and the middle class manage their money.
Right. Totally different approaches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he shows how the rich prioritize
They build that asset column.
building that strong asset column
That's generating income.
that generates income,
Yeah.
while the middle class
Yeah. They get
often gets bogged down
bogged down with all those liabilities.
with liabilities they mistakenly believe are assets,
Which is tough.
which ultimately traps them
In the rat race.
in that rat race.
Yeah, you're running and running
Who talks about,
and not getting anywhere.
speaking of the rat race,
Okay.
he makes this interesting distinction
All right.
between being broke
Broke versus
and being poor.
poor. Yeah, that's a good one.
It's
It's
about-
all about mindset.
He says being broke is temporary.
It's temporary. It's a lack of liquidity
That's a lack of liquidity.
at a certain point in time.
At a certain point in time. Okay.
Yeah.
Being poor,
Poor is different.
on the other hand,
Yeah.
is a state of mind.
It's a mindset.
It's a feeling of scarcity
Scarcity, lack.
and
Yeah.
lack, regardless of how much money you actually have.
Right. It's not about the number.
So even someone who makes a good income
Uh-huh.
could still have a poor mindset
Absolutely.
that prevents them
Keeps them stuck.
from building wealth.
Oh, boy.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Have you ever known someone
Oh, I've known plenty.
who gets a raise or a bonus,
Uh-huh.
and instead of investing it
Yeah.
or using it to build assets,
That's what they do.
they just
Upgrade their lifestyle.
upgrade their lifestyle,
They get the bigger car, fancier house,
they get bigger expenses.
more stuff.
Yeah, I've been guilty of that myself.
I think we all have.
The common trap.
Yeah. It's easy to fall into.
And Kiyosaki argues that.
He says until you shift that mindset.
Till you shift your mindset
Yeah.
from scarcity to abundance,
That's the key.
more money won't actually solve your problems.
No. It might even make them worse.
It might even make them worse.
Yeah.
That's kind of scary,
It is a little bit.
but it makes sense.
It does.
So where do we start?
That's the question, right?
How do we actually cultivate
Cultivate that wealthy mindset.
wealthy mindset
Yeah. How do we shift our thinking?
he keeps talking about?
Well, he says
We argue
we all have these internal roadblocks.
that we all have internal roadblocks.
Yeah, these things holding us back
To prevent us
from achieving financial success.
from achieving financial success.
He calls them the 5 obstacles.
He calls them the 5 obstacles to wealth building.
The 5 obstacles. Okay.
Okay, so
What are they?
fear,
Fear, number 1.
cynicism,
Cynicism.
laziness,
Oh, laziness. Yeah.
bad habits,
Bad habits. We all have them.
and arrogance.
Arrogance, that's a tricky one.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's unpack these
Okay, let's do it.
one by one,
One by one.
starting with fear.
Fear, the big one.
He tells this fascinating story about the Alamo
The Alamo.
to illustrate this point.
Okay.
He says that, even though the Texans at the Alamo knew they were probably going to lose,
Right, they were outnumbered.
they didn't let fear paralyze them.
They fought bravely.
They fought bravely
Against all odds.
against overwhelming odds.
Yeah? Yeah.
So the lesson here is that
Yeah.
taking risks is inevitable.
When it comes to building wealth,
When it comes to building wealth,
you gotta take risks.
we're going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
We might even experience some losses along the way.
That's part of the process.
But Kiyosaki believes that the fear of failure
yeah.
is far more dangerous
Than failure itself.
than failure itself.
That's a good one.
It's like that saying,
What's it say?
you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Exactly.
That's
So,
just key to be in the game.
Kiyosaki believes that to succeed
Yeah.
in business and investing,
Uh-huh.
you need to be willing to step outside your comfort zone,
You got to get uncomfortable
embrace uncertainty,
and learn from your mistakes.
and learn from your mistakes.
Every mistake is a lesson.
Yeah.
Fear,
Fear can keep us stuck
they keep us stuck
in the rat race.
in that rat race.
Too afraid to make a move.
Too afraid to take the leap
Yeah.
and start building our own asset column.
It's a hurdle we got to overcome.
Next on the list is cynicism.
Cynicism, oh boy.
Kiyosaki points out that cynics
They love to dismiss opportunities.
tend to dismiss opportunities
Yeah, without really analyzing them.
without truly analyzing.
Yeah.
They focus on the downsides
Always the downside.
and miss the potential upside.
They can't see the good.
Remember that example in the book about the person
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
who says, I don't want to fix toilets
I don't want to fix toilets.
when presented with a real estate investment opportunity?
Right. Classic cynic.
That one always makes me laugh.
It's funny because
Because,
you don't have to fix the toilets.
you don't actually have to fix toilets if you own rental property.
Exactly.
You can hire a property manager
Hired out.
to handle all that.
Delegate. That's the key.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Cynicism often
It hides behind practicality.
masquerades as practicality,
Right. Oh, I'm just being practical.
but it can blind us to real opportunities.
It can.
Kiyosaki encourages us to develop our analytical skills,
Okay, so we need to
to weigh the risks and rewards objectively,
look at it objectively.
and to be open to possibilities
Be open to possibilities.
that others might dismiss.
Don't just shut it down.
So instead of being quick to say no,
Yeah.
we should ask ourselves,
How can I make this work?
how can I make this work?
That's the question.
That's the kind of mindset shift
That's the shift.
Kiyosaki advocates for.
Yeah, from negativity to possibility.
Now, let's tackle laziness.
Laziness, ooh, this one hits home.
This one hits close to home
For a lot of people.
for a lot of people.
It's so easy.
It's so easy to get caught up
In the busyness of life.
in the busyness of everyday life and put off those important but maybe not so urgent tasks
Yeah, the important but not urgent.
related to building wealth.
Right, it can always wait.
Yeah, and Kiyosaki believes that
Yeah.
laziness often hides behind
The excuse.
the excuse
I
of
can't afford it.
can't afford it
Classic.
instead of
Right.
actively seeking solutions.
Right, looking for solutions.
Lazy minds default to
Excuses.
making
It's
excuses.
easier that way.
Remember how he contrasts this with
The wealthy mindset,
the wealthy mindset,
which asks,
which asks,
how can I afford it?
how can I afford it?
That's the difference.
That's such a
Subtle but powerful shifts.
subtle but powerful shift in perspective.
Yeah,
It's like
you're taking control.
instead of being a victim of your circumstances,
Breathe.
you're taking control
You're not a victim.
and looking for a way to make it happen.
You're finding a way.
Precisely.
That's the spirit.
It's about
Responsibility.
taking responsibility for your financial future
Own it.
and being proactive rather than reactive.
Exactly. Be proactive.
Okay.
Okay, we've covered a few.
So we've covered fear,
Fear. Check.
cynicism,
Cynicism. Check.
and laziness.
Laziness. Check.
What about bad habits?
Oh, Bad habits.
Ah, bad habit.
We all have them.
Kiyosaki has a lot to say about these.
He does.
And one of the most common bad habits he tackles is
That pay yourself last mentality.
the pay yourself last mentality.
Yeah, the bills come first.
You know, that idea that you should pay all your bills and expenses first.
Right. Take care of everyone else.
And then
what's left over?
whatever's left over.
You can maybe save or invest.
You can save or invest,
if there's anything left.
which, let's be honest,
Usually there's not.
usually doesn't leave much right.
Not much left.
And Kiyosaki rejects that mentality entirely.
He says, no way.
He advocates for
Pay yourself first.
paying yourself first,
Take care of yourself.
which means putting aside a portion of your income
Right.
for savings and investments before you pay any other expenses.
It's a priority.
Now, that takes discipline,
It does.
especially if you're used to
Living paycheck to paycheck.
living paycheck to paycheck.
A lot of people are.
But Kiyosaki argues
It's a crucial habit.
that it's a crucial habit to develop
Yeah.
if you want to build wealth.
You got to pay yourself first.
It forces you
To prioritize your future.
to prioritize your financial future
Yeah.
and treat it
As a non-negotiable.
as a non-negotiable expense.
You deserve it.
Okay.
Okay.
And the last obstacle on Kiyosaki's list is
Arrogance.
arrogance.
The sneaky one.
Now, this one seems a little counterintuitive.
Yeah.
How can being arrogant
Right.
actually hurt your ability to build wealth?
Well, he believes
Kiyosaki believes that
arrogance masks ignorance.
arrogance masks ignorance.
You think you know everything.
When we're arrogant,
So you stop learning.
we think we know everything, which prevents us
Yeah.
from learning and growing.
You got to stay open.
He has this great line.
What is it?
When I'm arrogant, I truly believe that what I don't know is not important.
Wow, that's powerful.
Ouch.
Yeah.
I can see how that would be a problem,
Big problem.
especially in the world of finance where things are constantly changing
Always changing.
and there's always more to learn.
Always more to learn. You got to stay humble.
Kiyosaki emphasizes the importance of staying humble,
Admit what you don't know.
admitting what you don't know,
Yeah.
and being open to learning from others.
There's always someone who knows more.
He even suggests surrounding yourself with people who are smarter than you in certain areas.
That's a good strategy.
So humility is actually a key ingredient
Yeah,
for building wealth.
it is
The more you learn,
that the more you learn,
the more you realize you don't know.
the more you realize you don't know.
And that's a good thing.
And that realization
Yeah,
can be incredibly empowering
it is.
because it motivates you
To keep learning,
to keep seeking knowledge and expanding your understanding.
always be a student.
So if these 5 obstacles are internal,
How do we actually overcome them?
that's the big question.
Kiyosaki talks a lot about the importance of
Financial education.
financial education.
That's key.
And it makes sense.
Yeah.
You can't expect to win a game
You got to know the rules.
if you don't understand the rules.
Right.
But-
here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
They don't teach us this stuff in school.
Most of us
Yeah.
weren't taught about money in school.
We learned history, science, math,
We learned about history, science, math,
but personal finance,
but personal finance, not so much.
not really.
And that's Kiyosaki's point.
He's right.
He believes that traditional education
Yeah.
often fails to prepare us for the real world,
Especially when it comes to money.
especially when it comes to managing our finances.
They don't teach you how to manage your money.
He encourages us to take ownership
Take ownership.
of our financial education
Educate yourself.
and seek knowledge
Outside the classroom,
outside of the traditional classroom.
go beyond the textbook.
So
what does that look like?
what does that look like in practice?
Well,
It could mean reading books,
like Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
like Rich Dad, Poor Dad,
Or other great finance books.
attending seminars,
Seminars, yeah.
listening to podcasts,
Podcasts like this one.
or even seeking out mentors
Mentors are invaluable.
who can share their financial wisdom.
Find someone who's been there.
The key is
More
to
proactive.
be proactive and to never stop learning.
Never stop learning.
So
Well,
instead of waiting for someone to teach us about money,
yeah.
we need to take the initiative
Take control.
and become our own financial educators.
Find your own teacher.
And Kiyosaki believes
He says it's not just about knowledge.
that this process of self-education is not just about acquiring knowledge.
It's about financial intelligence.
It's also about developing your financial intelligence.
Applying that
Your
knowledge.
ability to apply that knowledge to make smart decisions and create wealth.
Make those smart decisions. It's not just about definitions.
It's not just about knowing the definitions of assets and liabilities.
It's about using it.
It's about understanding how to use that knowledge to build your own asset column.
Build that asset column.
and escape.
The dreaded rat race.
That dreaded rat race.
He's got to break free.
This has been pretty eye-opening.
Has been an eye-opening
Yeah.
exploration
Of Rich Dad, Poor Dad so far.
of Rich Dad, Poor Dad so far.
We've covered a lot.
We've unpacked
Yeah.
Kiyosaki's core principles
Lots of
about
it.
assets versus liabilities.
Yeah, assets versus liability.
The power of mindset.
Mindset is huge.
The 5 obstacles to wealth building.
Those obstacles are real.
And the importance of financial education.
You got to learn about money. But still more.
There's still so much more to uncover.
Oh yeah, we're just getting started. Welcome back to our deep dive into Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
I'm ready for more.
Let's explore some of Kiyosaki's specific strategies for building wealth.
All right, strategies, let's do it. He has some really fascinating stories about what he calls inventing money.
Oh yeah, like inventing money.
It sounds kind of crazy,
It sounds a little out there.
but he has some good examples.
Like that time he bought that house
The house, oh yeah,
for a steal during a real estate downturn.
he got a great deal.
The one he snagged for $75,000.
Oh, way below asking price.
Way below the original $100,000 asking price.
He's a good negotiator.
And he didn't even go to a real estate agent.
No, he went straight to the source.
He went straight to the bankruptcy attorney's office.
Bold move.
So Kiyosaki understood that in times of financial distress,
Yeah.
there could be amazing opportunities
When everyone else is panicking.
to acquire assets
At a discount.
at a deep discount.
That's when you got to jump in.
It sounds a little intimidating, though, doesn't it?
I can see that.
Buying a house at a bankruptcy auction?
It's not for everyone.
It definitely requires some comfort with risk.
You got to be comfortable with uncertainty.
But Kiyosaki always emphasizes
Knowledge is power.
that knowledge is power.
You got to know what you're doing.
He took the time to learn the ins and outs of foreclosure auctions
He did his homework.
so he could confidently navigate that process.
Preparation is key.
And he ended up flipping that house for a $40,000 profit, right?
That's right. $40,000 profit.
In just 5 hours of work.
5 hours. That's amazing.
Now, obviously,
Yep.
not every real estate deal
Of course not.
will be that quick or profitable.
Some take more time and effort.
But it perfectly illustrates
His core principle?
Kiyosaki's core principle of using financial intelligence to create wealth.
He's all about financial intelligence.
He saw an opportunity
that others missed.
that others missed because they were either too afraid
Fear can hold you back.
or lacked the knowledge to take advantage of it.
That's why education is so important.
And that brings us to another important idea in the book,
Okay, what's that?
the concept of minding your own business.
Minding your own business.
Okay, I'm a little confused.
How so?
Isn't he a big advocate for entrepreneurship?
He is.
Because starting your own business
Yeah.
is definitely minding your own business.
It is, in a way.
So,
But he also means it.
But Kiyosaki also means minding your own business in the context of building your asset column,
Yes.
even while you still have a job.
Right, you can do both.
He suggests keeping your day job for now,
Keep the steady income.
but using your spare time to acquire income-generating assets.
Build that asset column on the side.
So
As like
things like buying rental property
rental properties, yeah.
or investing in stocks.
Stocks, businesses, anything that generates income.
He emphasizes that.
The rich focus on their asset column,
The rich focus on building their asset column,
while everyone else is focused on their paycheck,
while everyone else is stuck focusing on their income statement,
their job, their salary.
their paycheck.
Yeah.
It's like shifting your focus
From trading time for money.
from trading your time for money to building a system that generates wealth passively.
That's the goal.
Exactly.
Passive income.
Kiyosaki argues that
The key to long-term wealth,
the key to long-term wealth is converting earned income,
which is your salary.
which is your salary, into passive income or portfolio income.
That's how you build real wealth.
Passive income comes from assets like real estate
Real estate, businesses.
that generate cash flow,
Cash flow is king.
while portfolio income comes from investments like stocks and bonds.
Stocks and bonds, yeah.
He uses a great analogy
What's the analogy?
to illustrate this point.
Okay.
The difference between someone walking and someone flying.
Walking versus flying. Okay.
He says building wealth
Through passive and portfolio income.
through passive and portfolio income is like flying.
It's fast and efficient.
Relying only on earned income is like walking.
It's slow and takes a lot of effort.
You'll get there eventually.
Eventually.
That's going to take a lot longer.
A lot longer.
That's such a
vivid image.
vivid image. It really paints a
It
picture.
really drives home the point.
That building wealth is about working smarter, not just harder.
Work smarter, not harder.
And he stresses
It takes time.
that this takes time and patience.
You gotta be patient.
It's not about
Getting rich quick.
getting rich quick.
No, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
It's about building a solid foundation
For long-term financial freedom.
for long-term financial freedom.
That's the goal.
And he's a big advocate
For starting small.
for starting small.
You don't need a lot to get started.
He says most of those millions started out as little $5,000 to $10,000 investments.
That's encouraging.
He believes that anyone can build wealth,
Anyone.
regardless of their income level,
It's not about how much you make.
as long as they have the right mindset
Mindset is crucial.
and financial knowledge.
And the knowledge to back it up.
That is encouraging.
It is.
It makes financial freedom
Seem a lot more attainable.
seem a lot more attainable.
It's within reach.
Kiyosaki is all about
Empowering people.
empowering people to take control of their financial destinies.
Take control of your finances.
He believes that true wealth is available
To anyone
to anyone
who's willing to learn
who's willing to learn the rules of the game
the rules of the money game.
and play it strategically.
Be strategic, be smart.
Now,
Okay.
he also introduces this interesting concept
What's that?
of the power of corporations.
Corporations. Okay.
He doesn't go into a ton of detail in Rich Dad, Poor Dad,
He touches on it.
but he suggests that
Corporations offer advantages.
corporations offer significant tax advantages
Tax advantages, yeah.
and legal protection
Legal protections, too.
that individuals don't have.
Right. They have different roles.
He touches on that briefly
And explores it more in later books.
and then explores it more deeply in his later books.
Yeah, he goes into more detail.
He argues that
The rich use corporations.
the rich use corporations to legally reduce their tax burden
Legally reduce taxes.
and protect their assets from lawsuits.
Asset protection is important.
It's a bit of a
Controversial topic.
controversial topic, but it's definitely something
Worth learning about.
worth learning more about.
Yeah, it's good to know.
It's important to understand the legal and financial tools
That are available.
that are available to us,
Even if they seem complicated.
even if they seem complex or intimidating at first.
You can learn it.
Kiyosaki also talks about
Okay.
overcoming our fear of losing money.
Fear of loss.
He believes that
So many people.
so many people are so afraid of making mistakes
They're paralyzed.
that they never take any risks at all.
They play it too safe.
And as a result,
They miss out.
they miss out on
Opportunities.
potentially lucrative opportunities.
They never get in the game.
Absolutely.
He says,
He encourages readers
view failure as a learning experience,
to view failure as a learning experience,
not a defeat.
not a personal defeat.
It's a stepping stone.
He says, failure inspires winners. Failure defeats losers.
That's a good one.
That's so true.
It is.
It's a powerful reminder
Yeah.
that we should embrace our mistakes and learn from them
Learn from your mistakes.
rather than letting them paralyze us.
Don't let fear hold you back. He shares another great quote
Here's another great quote
from John D. Rockefeller.
from John D. Rockefeller, who said,
I always tried to turn every disaster into an opportunity.
I always try to turn every disaster into an opportunity.
That's the mindset
That's the kind of mindset
that leads to success.
that leads to financial success. It's all about seeing setbacks as temporary
Yeah.
and finding ways to leverage them to our advantage.
Turn those lemons into lemonade. It's about developing
It's about developing
resilience and adaptability.
and adaptability,
Those are essential qualities
which are essential qualities
for any successful investor or entrepreneur.
to any successful investor or entrepreneur.
You got to be able to roll with the punches.
One thing
Okay.
that really resonated with me
Yeah.
is Kiyosaki's emphasis on
The importance of mentors.
the importance of finding mentors.
Mentors are so valuable.
He credits his rich dad
Yeah.
with teaching him the financial principles
That's where he learned it.
that allowed him to achieve financial freedom.
His rich dad was his mentor. He emphasizes surrounding yourself
He emphasizes the importance of surrounding yourself with people
who are smarter than you.
who are smarter than you, are in certain areas.
Find those experts.
He believes that.
We can learn so much
We can learn a great deal
from those who have already achieved success.
from those who have already achieved the success we desire.
Find someone who's done it.
And he's not just talking about
Financial mentors.
financial mentors.
He also talks about
He also talks about the value of having mentors in other areas of life,
like business,
like business, health,
health, personal development.
or personal development.
Yeah, it's a holistic approach.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
He believes
Personal growth is a journey.
that personal growth is a multifaceted journey.
It's not just about money.
And we need guidance and support
In all areas.
in all areas of our lives.
Absolutely.
He also stresses the importance of
Being a good student.
being a good student,
Always be learning.
which involves being
Open-minded.
open-minded
Curious.
and willing to learn from anyone.
And willing to learn from anyone and everyone.
Soak up knowledge like a sponge.
He encourages readers
To constantly seek new knowledge.
to constantly seek out new knowledge and expand their perspectives.
Expand your horizons.
He even suggests
Learning a little about a lot.
learning a little about a lot of different things,
Yeah, broaden your knowledge base.
rather than specializing in just one area,
Don't limit yourself.
which is kind of the opposite
Yeah.
of what we're taught in traditional education,
Right specialization.
where the focus is on specialization.
Become an expert in one thing.
But Kiyosaki believes
E
that having a broad base of knowledge
is essential.
is essential for spotting opportunities,
Yeah, big picture.
to making informed decisions in a rapidly changing world. The world is changing fast.
He also suggests
Learning should be ongoing.
that learning should be an ongoing process,
It never stops.
not something that ends when we graduate from school.
Graduation is just the beginning. He's a lifelong learner
He's a lifelong learner himself
and encourages others to be the same.
and encourages others to cultivate that same
Thirst for knowledge.
thirst for knowledge.
Yeah, never stop learning.
He believes that.
The more you learn,
The more we learn,
the more opportunities we create.
the more opportunities we create for ourselves.
That's true.
He also has a unique perspective
Okay, what's that?
on the concept of paying yourself first.
Set yourself first.
He takes it a step further
Okay.
than just setting aside money
For savings and investments.
for savings and investments.
Right. That's the traditional advice.
He talks about paying yourself first
With experiences and knowledge.
with experiences and knowledge.
Invest in yourself.
That's an interesting
Take on the idea.
take on the idea.
Yeah, it's not just about money.
He believes that investing in
Personal growth
personal growth and development
is just as important.
is just as important as investing in financial assets.
You gotta invest in yourself.
And he emphasizes that.
It doesn't have to be expensive.
This doesn't have to be expensive.
There are free ways to learn.
It can be as simple as reading a book,
Reading a book.
taking a free online course,
Taking a free online course.
or attending a community event.
Or attending a community event.
There are opportunities everywhere
Exactly.
if you look for them.
He believes that opportunities for learning and growth are everywhere
Yeah.
if we're open to them.
You got to be open. It's
Being
about
proactive
being proactive and intentional
about your education.
about our personal and financial education.
Take control of your learning. Kiyosaki's message.
Kiyosaki's message is ultimately
One of empowerment.
one of empowerment.
He wants you to take control.
He wants to give people the tools and
So
knowledge
tools and knowledge.
they need to create their own wealth
Create your own wealth.
and achieve financial freedom.
Achieve financial freedom.
He also reminds us
Yeah.
that wealth is not just about money.
It's not just about the money.
It's about having
Options.
options and freedom of choice.
Freedom of choice is priceless.
It's
A really important distinction.
really important distinction.
Yeah.
True wealth
Is about living life on your terms.
is about having the ability to live life on your own terms,
Do what you want when you want.
pursuing your passions
Follow your passions
and spending your time
in ways that are meaningful.
in ways that are meaningful to you.
Yes, that's what it's all about.
He talks about
Finding your path.
the importance of finding your path in life,
Your unique path
which might be different
from your profession.
from your profession or career.
Yeah. Your job doesn't define you.
He encourages readers
Think about their values.
to think about what they truly value
What matters most?
and what brings them joy,
What brings you joy?
and then find ways
To align your life.
to align their lives with those values.
I have a life of purpose.
It's about
Living a life of purpose.
living a life of purpose and fulfillment
Yeah.
rather than just chasing money.
Money is a tool, not the goal.
I love that.
Perspective.
Perspective.
Yeah, it's powerful.
It really puts things into perspective.
It does. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a book.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a book that challenges you to think differently
About money and success.
about money and success,
And to create a life
and ultimately to create a life
of abundance and meaning.
of abundance and meaning.
That's the goal.
One thing I've noticed
Okay.
as we've been discussing these concepts
Yeah.
is that
They're all interconnected.
they're all interconnected. It's
Yeah.
not just about
Mastering one principle.
mastering one principle.
It's about the whole system.
It's about integrating them all into a holistic approach
A holistic approach to wealth building.
to wealth building.
It's all connected.
It's like a Recipe for financial success.
A recipe. I like that
You
analogy.
need all the ingredients
All the ingredients.
to make the cake rise.
You can't leave anything out.
He also emphasizes the importance of
Taking action.
taking action.
You got to do something.
It's not enough
To just read the book.
to just read the book and understand the concepts.
You got to apply it.
We need to put them into practice.
Take action.
He encourages readers
To be bold.
to be bold, take calculated risks,
Calculate a risk.
and learn from their mistakes.
Mistakes are lessons.
He believes
True learning comes from experience.
that true learning comes from experience, not just from
Reading or listening.
reading or listening.
You got to get your hands dirty.
He even provides
Some to-dos.
some specific to-dos for getting started
But to get you on the path.
on the path to financial freedom.
Okay, like what?
One of them is
Mind your own business.
to start minding your own business
By building your asset column.
by building your asset column.
That's number one.
He suggests
Keep your day job.
keeping your day job,
Work on the side.
but using your spare time to acquire
Income-generating assets.
income-generating assets,
Like what?
such as rental properties,
Rental properties. Okay.
stocks,
Stocks, yeah.
or even
Starting a side business.
starting a side business.
That's a good one.
He also suggests
Investing in your education.
investing in your financial education
Always be learning.
by reading books,
Read.
attending seminars,
Seminars are great.
and finding mentors
Mentors are invaluable.
who can guide you along the way.
Find someone who's been there. He also emphasizes
He also emphasizes the importance of
being persistent.
being persistent and never giving up on your dream.
Never give up.
He believes
Success is a journey.
that success is not a destination,
It's not a straight line.
it's a journey,
There will be bumps along the way.
and that there will be setbacks and challenges along the way.
But you gotta keep going. Stay focused.
He encourages readers to stay focused on their goals
And keep moving forward.
and keep moving forward,
Even when it's tough.
even when things get tough.
Don't give up.
He even suggests
Choosing heroes.
choosing heroes, successful investors or entrepreneurs
People who inspire you.
who inspire you
Yeah, find role models.
and make the process of building wealth
Seem more attainable.
seem more attainable.
Yeah, if they can do it, you can too.
He also encourages readers
Teach others.
to teach others
Share your knowledge.
what they've learned as a way of
Giving back.
giving back and
Solidifying your own understanding.
solidifying their own understanding.
Teaching is the best way to learn.
He has a really interesting saying,
What's that?
teach and you shall receive.
I like that. I love that.
It speaks to the abundance mindset.
It speaks to the abundance mindset that he advocates for.
You got to give to receive.
He believes that the more we give,
The more we receive,
the more we receive, not just in terms of
money,
but in all areas of life.
but in all areas of life.
It's about giving back,
It's about creating a positive cycle
of giving and receiving,
of giving and receiving
rather than scarcity.
rather than operating from a scarcity mindset.
Yeah, scarcity is a limiting belief.
Exactly.
Kiyosaki believes
Kiyosaki believes that generosity
is a virtue
is not only a virtue,
and a smart business strategy.
it's also a smart business strategy.
You got to give to get.
He even suggests being an Indian giver.
Indian giver. Okay.
A term
I know it's a bit controversial.
that might be considered politically incorrect today,
He uses it.
but he uses it to illustrate the concept of
Getting something for nothing.
getting something for nothing.
Like leverage.
He provides a great example of how he used a $2,000 loan
$2,000. That's not a lot.
to buy a foreclosed property,
Foreclosed property. Okay.
flipped it quickly,
Quick flip.
and made a $40,000 profit,
$40,000 profit. Wow.
all without using any of his own capital.
That's impressive. Classic example.
Classic example of his approach to wealth building.
He's a master of leverage.
It's about being
Creative.
creative,
Resourceful.
resourceful,
And finding ways to make money work for you.
and finding ways to make money work for you
Instead of the other way around.
rather than the other way around.
That's the key.
He also talks about the importance of having
A strong financial team.
a strong financial
I
team.
need a good team.
Brokers.
Brokers.
Yeah. Accountants. Important
Attorneys.
for legal stuff.
Who can help you navigate
The complexities.
the complexities of the financial world.
It can be confusing.
Absolutely.
He emphasizes seeking.
He emphasizes the value of seeking professional advice
Yeah, get expert help
and surrounding yourself
with people who have expertise.
with people who have the expertise you need to succeed.
Build a team of experts
He even suggests finding advisors
who are wealthy themselves.
who are wealthy themselves.
That's a good idea. and who invest in the same types of assets
that you're interested in.
that you're interested in.
Yeah, find someone who's done it.
That's a great point.
Yeah, it makes sense.
He believes
It's important to work with people
that it's important to work with people who have a vested interest
in your success.
in your success
They want you to win.
and who understand
The
the challenges and opportunities you're facing.
They've been there.
Now,
Okay.
one of the most powerful ideas in the book
The rat race.
is Kiyosaki's concept of the rat race.
That endless cycle.
The endless cycle of working for money just to pay bills
You're stuck.
without ever really getting ahead.
Just running in place.
He challenges readers
To ask themselves.
ask themselves, where is this daily activity taking you?
That's a good question.
That's such a
Profound question.
profound question.
It makes you think.
It forces us to step back and evaluate our lives,
Our choices.
our choices,
Our goals.
and our long-term goals. Where are you headed?
Are we on a path
That leads to freedom.
that leads to financial freedom?
Or are we stuck?
Or are we stuck in a rut, just surviving
Paycheck to paycheck.
from paycheck to paycheck?
That's the rat race.
He paints a
Pretty bleak picture.
pretty bleak picture of the traditional path.
Yeah, the traditional path.
Go to school.
Get a good job.
Get a good job.
Work hard.
Work hard.
Save money.
Save money.
Buy a
Buy a house.
retire at 65.
Retire at 65.
That's the plan.
He argues
It's not a guarantee anymore.
that this path is no longer a guarantee of financial security,
Things have changed.
especially
In today's economy,
in today's uncertain economic climate.
it's unpredictable.
That's one of
The most controversial
the most controversial aspects
of his message.
of his message.
He challenges the system
He challenges the very foundation
of our beliefs.
of our societal beliefs about
work, money,
success.
work, money, and success.
He's shaking things up.
And he doesn't
Offer easy answers.
offer any easy answer.
Yeah, he wants you to think for yourself
He doesn't tell readers
exactly what to do.
exactly what to do or how to invest.
It's not a step-by-step guide.
Instead,
He encourages you to develop
he encourages them to develop their own
financial intelligence,
financial intelligence and create
their own path.
their own path to wealth.
It's your journey.
That's what makes his message
So empowering.
so empowering.
You're in control.
He's not giving people a fish.
He's teaching them to fish.
He's teaching them how to fish.
It's much more valuable.
He's giving them the
The-
tools and knowledge
Tools and knowledge they need to take control
of their financial destinies.
of their financial destinies.
It's at your hands.
And he stresses
It's never too late.
that it's never too late to start.
You can start anytime.
He believes
Anyone can achieve freedom,
that anyone can achieve financial freedom,
regardless of age, income, background.
regardless of their age,
It's never too late.
income level, or background,
If they're willing,
to learn,
take action
take action,
and be persistent.
and be persistent.
Don't give up.
That's a message
Of hope and possibility.
of hope and
It's
possibility
inspiring.
that resonates with people
From all walks of life.
from all walks of life.
Everyone wants financial freedom.
He also talks about the
yeah.
importance of having a why,
Your why
a compelling reason
for wanting freedom.
for wanting to achieve financial freedom.
Gotta be more than just money.
He believes
Having a strong why.
that having a strong why will help you
Stay motivated.
stay motivated and focused.
Even when it's tough.
Even when you face challenges or setbacks,
It keeps you going.
it's not enough
To just want to be rich.
to just want to be rich.
You need a deeper reason
You need to have a deeper reason
for wanting freedom.
for wanting to achieve financial freedom.
What are your...
Welcome back to our deep dive into Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
We're in the final stretch now. We've been unpacking, Kiyosaki's unique perspective on wealth.
It's definitely a different way of looking at things.
And I'm really intrigued by what he has to say about taxes.
Oh, yeah. Taxes are a big part of his message.
He seems to have a very different view
Totally different.
than what most of us were taught.
He challenges the conventional wisdom.
Yeah, he challenges that traditional notion that paying taxes
It's just a civic duty.
is simply a civic duty.
Everyone's got to pay their fair share.
Right.
But he argues that
Yeah.
the rich play a different game.
A different game when it comes to taxes.
They use their knowledge to legally reduce their tax burden.
So he's not talking about, not paying taxes.
No, not at all.
He's talking about, using the system
Exactly. It's about understanding the rules of the game and playing it strategically.
legally, legally reducing your tax burden.
He's all about legal tax reduction.
Okay.
And he often talks about how corporations are a big part of that strategy.
He even goes back into the history of taxes.
Oh, yeah, he talks about how taxes evolved over time,
showing how they evolved from something mainly for the wealthy
like a way to fund the government,
into a burden
shared by everyone.
shared by everyone.
It's interesting how that happened.
Yeah, he explains how this idea of taxing the rich,
Was supposed to be fair
yeah,
to the poor and middle class,
was initially sold as a matter of fairness
right?
to the poor and middle class.
But then things changed.
But as governments needed more and more money,
Yeah,
taxes gradually trickled down.
to impact those with lower incomes.
Almost like a bait and switch, according to Kiyosaki.
He presents it that way.
Yeah.
He thinks the wealthy understand the tax code so well,
They use it to their advantage
while the average person is often left paying more than they should.
because they lack that knowledge.
Exactly.
But what's the solution?
Well, is he saying we should try to evade taxes altogether?
Is he saying we should just, like, not pay taxes?
No, no, no. He's not advocating for tax evasion.
Okay, good.
That's illegal.
So what is he advocating for?
He wants people to become financially savvy,
To understand the tax code
learn a rule,
and make informed decisions about how they structure their finances.
so you can legally reduce your tax burden.
Okay.
It's about working smarter, not harder.
So it's like learning to play the game strategically, right?
That's a great way to put it.
Understanding the rules,
You knowing how the system works.
but also seeing where you have some flexibility
to work in your favor.
to work in your favor.
Exactly.
Kiyosaki believes that being financially intelligent means
Not just about making money.
not just making money,
It's also about protecting the wealth you build
protecting it.
from unnecessary taxes.
Okay, I see.
You want to keep as much of your money as you can, legally, of course.
You mentioned earlier that Kiyosaki is a big advocate for using corporations
He is a big fan of corporations.
for wealth building.
He sees them as a powerful tool.
What's the advantage there?
Well, he sees corporations as offering some major benefits over traditional sole proprietorships or partnerships, especially when it comes to taxes.
Taxes and liability.
Those are the big ones.
So corporations can deduct expenses
Before paying taxes,
before paying taxes.
which can significantly reduce their overall tax burden.
I see. So that's a big advantage.
It is.
And I remember him talking about how
Corporations provide legal protection.
corporations provide a layer of legal protection
Right, like a shield.
that can shield your personal assets from lawsuits.
Exactly.
That seems like a big deal.
It can be a lifesaver, especially if you're in a high-risk business.
So he argues that the wealthy use corporations
Yeah,
to strategically separate their personal liability,
from their business ventures.
which adds a safety net in case of
Lawsuit.
a lawsuit or bankruptcy.
It's all about managing risk.
He even uses this memorable phrase,
Control everything, but own nothing.
control everything but own nothing,
To describe how the wealthy structure their assets.
through corporations and trusts.
Those are powerful tools
So it's all about using these legal structures that are available
to your advantage
to protect your wealth.
and minimize your personal risk.
It's definitely something I want to learn more about,
It's worth exploring.
even though it sounds complicated at first.
It can be complex.
But there are resources out there.
There are, yeah. You can find experts who can guide you through it.
Now let's dive into,
Kiyosaki's approach to investing.
yeah, his approach to investing.
He has some strong opinions on this.
He seems to favor a more hands-on entrepreneurial style
Oh, he's all about taking action.
over the traditional buy and hold strategy.
He thinks that's too passive.
Yeah, he's not a fan of just passively investing
No, he wants you to be actively involved.
and hoping for the best.
You got to create your own luck, as they say,
He believes that you create real wealth
by actively looking for opportunities
by taking calculated risks,
and using your financial intelligence to build something valuable.
and he's got some bold stories
Oh, yeah, he loves to tell stories.
about how he's invented money
He's a master storyteller,
through real estate, stocks,
even starting his own businesses.
and even launching his own businesses.
He's a true entrepreneur.
So he's not afraid to think outside the box
Not at all. He encourages it
and find creative ways
to generate income.
to generate income.
He wants you to use your imagination
And he really wants his
to
readers
find their own path
to figure out their own investment strategies.
based on their individual skills,
Yeah.
what they enjoy, and their comfort level with risk.
One thing he's really clear about
Yeah.
is the difference between being an investor
And being a speculator.
and being a speculator.
That's a huge distinction for him.
Yeah,
He believes true investors look for assets.
that generate cash flow
Cash flow is key.
and have long-term value.
They're building something sustainable.
Speculators, on the other hand,
They're just chasing quick wins.
They're chasing quick wins
They're gambling.
and are often driven by emotions rather than logic.
Fear and greed.
He's a big believer in investing in things.
You understand.
You understand.
And have some control over.
And have some control over, like real estate or businesses.
Where you can use your knowledge.
Because
Knowledge equals power.
for Kiyosaki, knowledge equals power.
The more you know about an investment,
The better equipped you are.
to make wise decisions.
And he can't stress enough the importance of due diligence.
Oh, due diligence is crucial.
Doing your research before you put any money into anything.
Absolutely.
He really encourages readers
Yeah.
to thoroughly investigate potential investments,
Look under the hood.
looking at the financials,
Understanding the risks.
and getting expert advice
Talking to people who know.
before committing any capital.
Do your homework.
He even suggests finding a mentor
Who's done it before?
who has a track record of success
Yeah. Find someone who's been there, done that.
in the area you're interested in.
That's invaluable.
He also emphasizes the importance of being patient
And disciplined.
and disciplined in your approach to investing.
Don't get emotional.
Kiyosaki wants you to.
Think long term.
Think long term.
Don't get rattled by the ups and downs of the market.
And stick to your plan.
Stay the course.
He's also realistic in reminding us
Yeah.
that investing is not some magical get-rich-quick scheme.
It's not a lottery ticket.
It takes time
Effort
and a
willingness to learn.
and a constant willingness to learn and adapt.
The market is always changing.
True wealth,
As Kiyosaki sees it,
as Kiyosaki sees it,
is built slowly and steadily.
it's built slowly and steadily through consistent effort.
And well-informed decisions.
Now, as we wrap up
Our deep dive.
our deep dive into Rich Dad, Poor Dad,
It's been a journey.
I want to touch on a final, powerful theme that weaves its way through the book,
Okay.
finding your own path in life.
Your unique path?
Kiyosaki says,
What does he say?
our true path isn't necessarily defined by our job or career,
It's about more than just your job.
but by our values,
What really matters to you?
what we're passionate about,
What you love to do?
and our sense of purpose.
Finding your why.
He encourages readers
To think about what truly matters to them in life.
and then find ways.
To align your actions and choices with those values.
He believes that financial freedom is not the end goal,
It's a means to an end
but a tool
that gives you options.
that gives you options to live a more meaningful and fulfilling life.
That's what it's all about.
It's about taking control of your life
Designing a future.
and creating a future that reflects your deepest aspirations.
That's a powerful message.
So, as we conclude this deep dive into Rich Dad, Poor Dad,
It's been a great discussion.
I hope this has given you a lot to think about.
Definitely.
Think about how you can apply these principles to your own journey.
It's a book that can really change your perspective
Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a book that challenges your assumptions
about money and success.
about money and success.
But it also offers a roadmap.
But it also offers a roadmap to creating a life of abundance and purpose.
It's an inspiring message.
Remember,
Building wealth is a process.
building wealth is a process,
It's not an overnight event.
not an overnight event.
It's about developing your financial intelligence.
It's about taking calculated risks and being persistent in pursuit of your goals.
And it's about designing a life you truly value
And it's about designing a life you truly value, where money supports your dreams
instead of dictating them.
instead of dictating them.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
I hope you got a lot out of it.